Chug, and today we're going to be talking about merchant referral partners. In any sales strategy, the most important factor is going to be your referral partners, mainly because they can certainly divide and conquer a lot of the workload that's associated with sales and working together. And so that's the main reason why working with referral partners is so essential. And today we see a lot of great opportunities in the point of sale and merchant services type arena, mainly because there's a lot of things changing in this space, and there's a lot of market drivers that are causing these changes to take place. And so we wanted to spend some time on working with some of these partners and exploring ways to work with them. One of the reasons why the merchant services is such a great place to play in is because there's a lot of different moving parts. It almost always requires multiple companies and individuals to come together to create a whole product that actually functions for the client. And so there's always going to be multiple individuals, and that's something that we're always looking for in a good referral relationship, is something that involves a product that becomes better because multiple individuals are working together to make it that way. And so that's when you know you have a good referral relationship. And that's one of the, like I mentioned before, this is what we see within the merchant services. Typically you're going to have someone that's providing equipment, another person that's providing the credit card processing, another person that's going to be involved in IT security, bandwidth. You'll have a lot of commercial real estate agents that are selling retail, and they're going to be involved in helping the clients find everything that they need to implement their services. And so there's lots of different individuals that are working together, and they're all talking to the same clients. So they're already talking to the same person. They're already working on different aspects, but if they were to work together, it would not only make the product better, but it would also make a more consistent opportunity. So you can kind of have better expectations. You can rely on each other. You can expect things. And it certainly, like I mentioned in the beginning, makes the sales process so much easier, because rather than each individual contacting the same client, they could contact different clients across the group and multiply all of their sales efforts by having each individual divide and conquer the sales process. And so this is what we want to form, which is what we call a lead exchange. The lead exchange is a more formal type of referral relationship. We've done a lot of different trainings on lead exchanges, so we won't go into too many details today on it, but definitely review those if you haven't set up a lead exchange. Again, it's the most fundamental and the most impactful process and strategy that you can use to help reduce your sales cost by implementing any type of formal referral partners. But a lead exchange is when you work together on a sales process. It's more unified. It's a more developed type of referral relationship, and it involves multiple individuals like what we're seeing here with merchant services. So you can go to leadexchange.org, and this is where you can actually go and find existing referral groups that you want to join, or you can create your own, but it's a great place to go and network with other companies. Now, to get started with this strategy, we're going to need some data. So we're going to go to Untitled.com/data, and we want to find point of sale individuals. We're going to start with them because they're usually more connected and have the relationships within their realm. So they may have relationships with the commercial real estate agents, the equipment guys, or the merchant services guys. And so when you're working with this, it's good to start with the point of sale individuals. There's not an easy way to find these folks. There's not a lot of SIC codes that would actually help you identify them individually. But one strategy that I found that works well is just to search for POS within the company search. So if you go to Untitled.com/data, in the location section, you can type in a zip code or a county or a state or a city, or you can just leave it blank. But the main thing is in the keyword search, you can type in POS. And it's not going to find everybody, but more often than not, the point of sale individuals have that keyword in their company name. So it makes it pretty easy for you to find them. Now, if you work with Untitled, you can also use the email introduction. So if you go down to that main section under email introductions, you would select partner introductions. And what this does is it sends out up to 5 emails to the prospects. It stops once they respond, but the email looks something like this. So we send an email from Untitled.com that says, I'm working with, and then it has your name here, and then it copies you on the email so you get CC'd. And we were hoping to discuss a potential partnership between our organizations. Do you have some time to chat? So if you wait an hour or two or even a day, you can follow up and do a reply all. And this is what you would say by replying to the email that Enable sent out to the partners that show up on the list. You would say, I'm forming a lead exchange here in the city and wanted to see if we could partner together. Can we grab some lunch next week? So again, this is just a template. You can change it, but you can reply all to those emails and hopefully start a conversation. Now, one thing you might notice is these emails don't have a lot of information. And this is one of the key strategies that we try to employ in email campaigns, and this is where a lot of people tend to have issues with, is they put too much information in their emails. And what that does is it allows the end user or the prospect to make a decision without you. You want to pique their interest, but you don't want to give them enough information in that initial email to make a decision. You want them to kind of push them in the direction of replying or calling you or meeting with you in order to truly make a decision about what you're talking about in the email itself. And so that's a key strategy in any type of cold email campaign, is to limit your information and not to give them too much so that they can move on without you. Now, once you have your lead exchange in place, for this particular strategy, what's going to work well is just going to Indeed.com or LinkedIn or any local job searches and just type in cashier. There's a few other keywords that you could use, but this is probably the most common. And so what's going to happen is you're going to be able to find all of the retail shops in your local area that are hiring cashiers. And so from here, you can simply identify the key decision makers within this company. You can go to upsellreport.com. You can run reports on the companies from Enable.com. Just use existing data, and the system will identify all the key decision makers. Now, one thing that we should mention is most, if not all, sales strategies should be approached using the experimental sales technique. And so what this does, and we've talked about in the past, you can review it in detail, but when you're engaging with new clients, you always want to suggest an experiment. And so what it does is, rather than saying, would you be open to replacing your point of sale systems? That normally doesn't go over well. But if we're asking them to try something new and just experiment with something, it helps remove the fear of failure. And that's one of the more common things. Companies, more often than not, tend to stay with the status quo rather than adopting something new. And so if you're trying to get somebody to change, you have to remove that fear. People don't want to be on the hook for adopting something that failed. And so when you label this as an experiment and start out small, you're going to find it's much easier for your prospects to adopt and to purchase technology. And so what you're going to do is you're going to refer to the job opening that you've come across. You're going to email the key decision makers. You're going to copy a few of the members of your lead exchange. That makes the email feel more unique. And then at that point, you could say something like this: I came across the cashier job you have available. I was wondering if you would be open to an experiment. I am testing a new technology that could potentially replace your cashiers altogether. Would you be open to testing this in your store? Now, again, we're limiting the information so that they can't make a decision without us, but we're hopefully piquing their interest enough to have a conversation. And that's really it for today. Again, because of the amount of changes that are taking place within the merchants and point of sale space, there's a lot of new technology and there's a lot of market needs that are driving change. And so what you want to do is you want to sync up with members in this realm, because they're going to be your lead product, and they're going to open doors because of the nature of the marketplace that we're dealing with. But they're also going to be able to divide and conquer. And so you're going to be able to split up a list of prospects and give everybody 100 contacts a day that they're going to reach out to and work with. And this is going to make your prospecting a lot easier. And because there's a lot of different jobs and openings that you can work with, you can use this strategy or use other strategies that we talked about in the past. But this should make it a lot easier to open new doors and have a lot of different conversations, because, again, the point of sales touches a lot of different points. You got bandwidth, you got IT security, you got merchant services. And so all of this revolves around that piece of equipment, and it certainly should make upselling a lot easier. Now, next time, we're going to be talking about fiber strategies, how to sell into fiber opportunities, what to do. But again, that's going to be in 2 weeks from today, same time, same place. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. I hope you have a great weekend, and we look forward to talking to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye, everyone.